What is up, everybody? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and today I'm bringing you, of course, some more Devil May Cry. Now, in this video you're going to be seeing me play through the first mission, other than the prologue, of DMC5, essentially as Trish, or as you can see, as Dante, so to speak, with a Trish character skin swap. Along with that, I've got a few other mods like Turbo Mode and things like that. But I'm playing through the game again on Dante Must Die difficulty because I haven't done so since the game initially dropped. Since I actually streamed all of my Dante Must Die difficulty run on YouTube way back in March, believe it or not, and at this point it's been 7 months. It's been a long ass time, surprisingly, because time flies. And yeah, this is me just going in raw. Not really had much practice. I decided to fire it up and delve straight in. So you're going to be seeing a bit of sloppy gameplay here and there. This is Dante Must Die difficulty, so sometimes efficiency takes over style. Because I kind of wanted to do this in one go, and I mean I could have just cut together some gameplay, made it look super stylish, super neat, going for those no damage sort of runs where I'm pulling off everything amazingly, but in reality that's not really how things tend to pan out. But I want to just make a mention, this isn't really a guide, so to speak. It's not meant to be a guide. If I was going to do a guide, I would have done one, way back in March. But I will be playing through the entirety of Dante Must Die, probably with some wacky mods thrown in there for effect, because it gives me a chance to just talk and to ramble on. And Mission 1 and Mission 2, to be honest, I really like in this game, simply for its aesthetic. Of course, Redgrave City is modelled on London. Essentially where I grew up, I guess you could say, and I think they've done a really good job of capturing this aesthetic. It's just a shame that it doesn't really continue on throughout the rest of the game. After Mission 2, we don't really see the streets of Redgrave anymore. We see some things like the metro system here and there, but we don't see the streets anymore, and it is a bit of a shame, to be honest. I think they could have done a lot more with what they had, but I guess, it's a creative decision, but that doesn't matter. We're fighting some of the Antinoras, which in this difficulty, it should be noted that in this difficulty everything hits like a truck. Let's not lie. I recently completed a little bit of slowdown there because of my rig. I recently completed a DMC1 Dante Must Die run, which I streamed. So a lot of you saw my pain live, but for the most part in that game, the enemies do an incredible amount of damage as well, even more so than the enemies in this game. However, they are dealt with a lot easier, so to speak. You can, stun lock them. You can put yourself in invulnerable positions, whereas in this game, you can't really do that all that much. But we get more slowdown here. But then you get enemies in this game like this on Dante Must Die difficulty, which they're pushovers on normal difficulty and they're pushovers in this difficulty, as I sort of go off on one on this DMC2 enemy, because for those of you who don't know, these goat men things were taken from DMC2. Wouldn't blame you if you don't know that, as we hit it with a Dance Macabre, because a lot of people don't really know anything about DMC2, because that game's terrible, because they've been told not to play it, and hopefully you listened to that advice and you didn't play DMC2, because boy oh boy is that a terrible game. But we're not here to talk about DMC2, as we stylishly hop over all of these cars and onto the double-decker bus, which is a common sight in London if you guys don't know, the big red buses, as we shoot off into the distance at the tree. If only we could take it out from here and not have to go in. But this is the bridge, and we get some of the good old hentai tentacles spawning in, as people dubbed them in the when I streamed through this game. But yeah, it's been 7 months, and that is nuts. The community has done wonders for this game's longevity. I don't think I'd be still playing this as often. I'd still be playing it, just not as often, if not for the mods that the community have sort of come out with. And if you have a PC, I do highly recommend you check out the mods, because you can get some wacky woohoo things going on, and you can live up to the true wacky woohoo pizza man name. As Trish cleans up house here. Yeah, it's unfortunate that at this point there hasn't really been any DLC or anything sort of announced, but it is what it is. We've still got Trish out here. We're still doing absolute madness with Trish as the Hellcanes spawn in. And as usual, we try and get enemies up in the air because I don't know if you've seen any of the guides I've made. In the air is where you want to be in this game, in these kind of games. Because when you're in the air and enemies are stun locked up in the air, there's not really much they can do, and because you're up in the air, the enemies on the ground can't really reach you. And that's something that you really want to focus on Dante Must Die difficulty in any of the games. Not so much in DMC1, because in DMC1 it's kind of hard to juggle enemies in the air, because you don't have any aerial attacks other than the good old Helm Breaker, or the Helm Splitter as I think the reboot called it, but yeah, we're not going to talk about the reboot. I have yet to cover the reboot on the channel, and I hope to keep to that for as long as possible, but you know, eventually enough of you are going to want to see the reboot being played or streamed through. Speaking of streams, I am streaming on Twitch, for those of you who don't know. There is a link in the description if you want to catch the live streams. It's not going to be on YouTube in terms of streaming. You'll still be seeing content though, of course. You're seeing this, aren't you? As we break dance, and these Hellcanes, I think that's one of the issues that I have with this game's difficulty, is the fact that they've just made the enemies absolute sponges. Something that DMC1 I think did really well is it struck a nice balance between the enemy health and the enemy damage, where the enemy damage was severely increased, and the health only got a marginal boost, where if they did Devil Trigger, they'd gain an immense damage and defense boost. As we fight, we shoot towards the boss and we switch towards Balrog, because me and you both know that I'm going to be attempting to real impact the ever-loving life out of this thing, as I failed. We still hear Nero's voice clips in the background, which is interesting, because it means that that's sort of baked into the game, and it's OST and stuff, which is weird. But here we go, it begins, and we just start to take away the health. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to try and get through this boss's health as fast as possible, because I don't want to fight the Antinoras, because once they get involved, things start to get incredibly tricky, because your attention's going to be pulled away from them, as I managed to parry that one there. What are you doing, Devil? Get up in the air, start doing some aerial attacks. Even though that's not exactly the safest option, considering that the Endite Tentacles can still touch you when you're in the air there. But we pull out the Devil Trigger, which is one of the most important things in this difficulty, is the Devil Trigger, because as me and you know, or you may not know, there are no items essentially in this game, no consumable items. You get some green orbs out and around in the environment, but you don't get any Devil Stars or Vital Stars as the mission essentially ends here. We got a terrible rank for the style, but we got the No Continue 1.2 bonus, or the multiplier, and we finish the mission on an S rank with the good old always bet on red moniker to go by. But that is essentially going to wrap it up for mission 1. As I previously stated, I will be attempting to cover the entire game in this sort of format, with some of the longer missions allowing me to ramble on about who knows what. But yeah, do expect more of that. You're going to be seeing, of course, whatever mods I feel like enabling at that time. It might not always be Dante that I'm playing as, sometimes it might be Nero, but in terms of V, you're not going to be seeing any V gameplay, because let's be honest, nobody wants to see V. To be honest, nobody likes to play as V anymore. Though I know there are some people out there that absolutely adore the character. That is not me. And I guess I've rambled long enough here, people. So without further ado, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank all of you for watching. Stay tuned. As always, I'll see you all next time.